Good evening, everyone. Welcome to NTD Tonight. I'm David Zhang. Here is a preview of some of today's top stories. How close is a hostage deal between Israel and Hamas? President Biden and Israel's Prime Minister say the talks are progressing. A flash mob strikes again in Los Angeles. Thousands of dollars in merchandise stolen from a Nike store. Crime prevention a top priority for San Francisco. Find out the plan to expand into new strategies as the holiday season approaches. First up, 240 Hamas captured hostages remain in Gaza as the Israel-Hamas war drags on. But both sides are saying they're making progress on a deal to release some of them, as the White House is cautiously optimistic. NTD's Melina Weisskopf reports.
Israel's Special War Cabinet met today to discuss a hostage exchange deal with Hamas, but it wouldn't be an all-for-all exchange. Reports are indicating that this would be around 50 Israeli women and children in exchange for around 150 Palestinians, and it also comes along with a 4-day ceasefire in Gaza, though NTD has not been able to specifically verify the details of this deal that's underway right now. Both President Biden and Israel's Prime Minister have expressed cautious optimism.
We are making progress. I don't think it's worth saying more, even at this moment, but I hope there will be good news soon.
Very close. We could bring some of these hostages home very soon, but I don't want to get into the details of things because nothing is done until it's done.
Some family members of the hostages are also growing anxious with their government and how they are balancing the priorities of countering Hamas and getting their families home.
We all feel, especially when we're talking about our families, that this should be the top priority. It doesn't mean that we should not care about taking down Hamas. Absolutely not. Nobody is claiming that. Nobody is saying that. But we definitely have a criticism on how this prioritization goes.
And the latest move here from the U.S. Congress is that 13 Democrat senators are now pressuring President Biden to make a deal with Israel for them to open up their border to allow humanitarian aid to get into Gaza. Now, the Biden administration is changing its posture on this issue. National Security spokesperson John Kirby today said that the U.S. would not support Israel military action in Gaza unless there is a plan to protect civilians. Reporting from Capitol Hill, Melina Weisskopf, NTD News.
And here's a recap of some other national headlines from today.
The Commission on Presidential Debates announced the 3 dates for general election debates next year. The first one is set for September 16th at Texas State University. The second one is on October 1st at Virginia State. And the third on October 9th at the University of Utah. One vice presidential debate is scheduled for September 25th at Lafayette College in Pennsylvania. To qualify for the events, candidates and their running partners must have at least 15% in national polls. Third-party candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is averaging almost 17% at the moment. He will be the first third-party candidate on stage since Ross Perot in 1992. The campaign for former President Trump says Trump is looking forward to debating President Biden at the events. However, it's not clear whether Biden will join. His team reportedly declined to comment on the recently announced debates. Speaking of debates, the details are in on a debate showdown between Governors Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom, 90 minutes long and no audience. The clash will highlight the different leadership styles of the two governors. The pair will grapple over economic issues, inflation, immigration, and crime. They will try to persuade the nation that their vision is what the country needs. Fox News is billing the event as DeSantis versus Newsom, the Gray Red versus Blue State debate. Sean Hannity will host the debate on Thursday, November 30th at 9 p.m. Eastern. DeSantis trails former President Trump in most polls for the Republican nomination, while Newsom has thus far ruled out challenging President Biden. Some see his recent trips to China and Israel as an attempt to raise his profile for a possible presidential run. Democrats appear to be divided when it comes to Israel's war against the Hamas terror group, and a person's age may reflect where they stand. That's according to a recent Quinnipiac poll. In all, 56% of Democrats and Democratic-leaning voters approve of President Biden's handling of the conflict. But when you break it down by age, The poll shows only 24% of those under 35 approve of Biden's response. That compares to 77% of those 65 and older who support Biden regarding the issue. And that divide is also apparent when it comes to which side they sympathize with more, Israelis or Palestinians. Nearly 3/4 of the Democrats younger than 35 said Palestinians, while 45% of Democrats 65 and older responded with Israelis. The U.S. Army sent former soldiers letters with instructions on how to rejoin after they were forced out for refusing the COVID-19 vaccine. The letter states individuals who desire to apply to return to service should contact their local recruiter for more information. This as the military struggles to draw recruits. The Army booted almost 2,000 personnel for not receiving a COVID vaccine. A 2022 statement said unvaccinated soldiers present a risk to the force and jeopardize readiness. Now the vaccine mandate is no longer in effect. Multiple military branches have been struggling to attract new recruits in recent years.
For more details of these stories, please visit NTD.com. In Ohio, a Monday night shooting at a local Walmart left 4 shoppers injured and the shooter dead. Beaver Creek police say they have now identified the shooter as a 21-year-old Benjamin Charles Jones.
20-year-old Benjamin Charles Jones of Dayton, Ohio, started shooting. Officers were dispatched within 1 minute, and the first 2 officers arrived on scene at 8:39 p.m. Beaver Creek police officers heard gunshots and advanced toward the threat, locating the shooter who was on the ground with a self-inflicted gunshot wound at 8:42 p.m.
Police confirmed Tuesday morning that 4 adults, 3 women, and a man were injured in the shooting. As of Tuesday afternoon, 3 are now in stable condition and 1 was still listed as critical but stable. Investigators say Jones did not appear to target one particular person. All 4 victims were discovered around the store. Police are now looking for a motivation. The FBI is asking people with any information regarding Jones to share that with their officers. Watch more on NTD.com and follow us on X for all the latest at NTD Tonight. Over to Southern California, where the Los Angeles Police Department is looking for 17 individuals who were part of a recent flash mob stealing thousands of dollars in merchandise. NTD's Christina Corona has more on the story.
A large group of juveniles stole around $12,000 worth of merchandise from a Watts Nike store Sunday in a quick raid caught on video. The LAPD says 17 people ransacked the store located in the 9800 block of South Alameda Street just before 6 p.m. Footage posted on the Citizens app shows the thieves rushing through the store with blue bags, grabbing merchandise off the shelves and clothing racks while shoppers watched. The people involved were described as 4 females and 13 males, believed to be 15 to 20 years old. The suspects escaped in 5 getaway cars, a tan Infiniti, a gray Kia SUV, a white Honda, a 4-door Kia, and a black Audi. Authorities are actively fighting retail crimes statewide, having recently arrested 137 suspects and recovered over $60,000 in merchandise. Authorities urge anyone with information on the Nike theft to contact Detective Juan Campos with the LA Police Department, or you can leave an anonymous tip with LA Crime Stoppers. Christina Corona, NTD News, Los Angeles.
Retail theft is also a problem in Northern California. San Francisco's mayor says new strategies to combat theft have been working, and the city plans to expand them. NTD's Jason Blair has the latest.
With the holiday shopping season just around the corner, San Francisco's mayor says she's stepping up strategies to help combat retail theft. She announced that new state funding will go to the San Francisco Police, the district attorney's office, and help fund 400 new license plate readers. Mayor London Breed said, quote, "Our police officers are out there making the arrest, and along with our district attorney, they are sending a clear message that if you target our retailers, you will be arrested and charged." 2 weeks ago, Breed and the San Francisco police chief said that the city's new strategies have been working.
Despite the challenges that exist with limitations around our laws, our officers are still making arrests. We're seeing a decline in retail theft. We're seeing a decline in car break-ins.
We've done over 40 retail theft blitz operations in the past year, over 40. We've arrested over 230 people for retail theft.
The mayor's office says SFPD will significantly increase blitz operations over the next 3 years. The office describes blitz operations as, quote, strategic deployment of a number of officers inside a retail location or shopping district. The officers work from a central command post and quickly move in to make arrests when thefts occur. Breed's office also stated that the district attorney will add a full-time assistant district attorney and a district attorney investigator.
And when we give them the evidence that they need to find someone guilty, that they will do so to hold them accountable.
Since the pandemic, San Francisco has been struggling with an image problem, especially on the topics of crime, homelessness, and open-air drug use. According to medical examiner documents, the city is on track to record its deadliest year of unintended drug overdoses. Breed's office noted that larceny theft rates are down 11% compared to last year, crediting new bait car operations and plainclothes police. Reporting in San Francisco, Jason Blair, NTD News.
We'll take a short break now, everybody, but here's a look at what we have for you when we come back. A 9-year-old singer shares his catchy song, "Kindness is Cool." The little man doesn't seem to be intimidated by large crowds and has even become a kindness ambassador. Looking to travel this holiday season? We'll bring you some tips and look at this year's forecast to help you plan your next trip. California could see another wet winter this year. El Nino is expected to bring rain and snow to the Golden State. These stories and more coming up on NTD Tonight. Welcome back to NTD Tonight. I'm your host, David Zhang. A 9-year-old singer just launched his song, "Kindness is Cool," recently, which he loves performing. Originally written for a hashtag "Kindness is Cool" movement. Let's take a listen, but watch out, it's kind of catchy.
He goes by Big Lotus 415, and after sending his "Kindness is Cool" song to video platform Ganjing World, he was asked to become a kindness creator ambassador.
The inspiration of this song is that being kind and being nice to other people and being good, and that's the stuff.
The young singer also performed at an indigenous artist event in San Francisco over the weekend with other artists from native backgrounds.
I liked it because there was a big crowd and it was fun, and I liked to do it because I liked the sound system was really good too, and I liked how the people were cheering me on, and it was really cool.
This brings back memories when my sons used to perform. Both of them have been in the music business since they were kids, so it's nice that it runs in a family.
People say the lyrics are catchy and meaningful.
I think it was such a good message, especially coming from like a young person, to really engage in such a beautiful way for us, especially as adults, to remember what it means to be kind to each other and making it cool, and really thinking about listening to our youth is really important.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I think the confidence on the mic is what I loved about it. Yeah. I loved one of the songs he said from SF to the Philippines, and I love just like that global solidarity aspect of the song.
Big Lotus says his goal was to make the music good and understandable with a positive message. He released an album in September and plans to do more. In San Francisco, California, David Lamb, NTD News.
One day yes, I'll figure out what this world truly needs.
Which U.S. city is the cockroach capital? Pest Nome ranks the most cockroach-infested cities from around the country. NTD's Stephanie Secal reports.
Although cockroaches contribute positively to the ecosystem, they can become troublesome in major U.S. cities. Pest Nome, a company connecting people with local pest exterminators, ranked the most roach-infested cities, using data from the Census Bureau and the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Houston, Texas claimed the top spot with 37% of homes displaying roach signs in the past 12 months. Other highly populated cities like San Antonio, Texas, Tampa, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, and Las Vegas, Nevada followed the list. For California cities, Los Angeles, Riverside, San Jose, and San Francisco also made the top 25 list. Cockroaches, while beneficial to the ecosystem, can also pose health risks to humans by transmitting disease pathogens. Pest Nome suggests sealing entry points, maintaining cleanliness, and using pest control measures to prevent infestations. If issues persist, seeking professional extermination is advised. Stephanie Secal, NTD News, California.
Looking to travel this holiday season? That's the plan for around 55 million Americans this year. So here are some tips and travel predictions to make your next road trip or flight a little less stressful.
Getting a big holiday meal on the table can be stressful for the cook, but for guests, just getting to the table can also be difficult.
AAA expects 55 million travelers this Thanksgiving holiday, making it the third busiest Thanksgiving holiday we've had on record.
According to AAA's predictions, the vast majority, 49 million, are expected to drive.
If you're renting a car this year, you can expect to pay about 20% less than this time last year. A couple of bits of relief for road trip travelers are that gas prices are lower than this time last year, in many states significantly lower. So there is going to be a bit of relief when you fill up at the pump.
Montgomery advises people to avoid distracted driving and be mindful of speeding. Car accidents will only lead to more traffic jams on the road. Other tips include limiting screen time and opening windows for fresh air to avoid car sickness. Now, for everyone else taking planes, buses, cruises, or trains, AAA suggests heading for the airport or station early, just in case of long lines.
We advise people to allow that extra time to make sure that they're patient, especially if they have to leave during those peak travel times, which will be Tuesday afternoon before Thanksgiving, Wednesday afternoon before Thanksgiving, and then the Sunday after Thanksgiving when people are returning home.
Roughly 4.7 million people are expected to fly during the Thanksgiving travel period, according to AAA. That's a 6.6% increase compared to 2022, and the highest number since 2005. Now, while on the plane, Cheryl Skaggs, sociology professor at the University of Texas, suggests keeping alcohol consumption to a minimum. She co-authored a study that found drinking alcohol played a big role in passenger misconduct, which in worst-case scenarios compromised flight safety. So which destinations are the most popular? According to Chase Bank, their data trends show beaches and places with vibrant cultures continue to be top choices among holiday travelers. Miami Beach, Florida saw an 80% year-over-year increase in tourists.
Chances are high for a wet winter ahead. NTD's Stephanie Secal has more on the weather forecast, as El Nino is expected to bring rain and snow to the Golden State.
Early forecasts suggest a wet winter for most of California due to El Nino, known for bringing increased rain and snow to the state. It has developed over the summer and is anticipated to strengthen in the coming months. Daniel Swain, a climate scientist at UCLA, predicts this year's El Nino to be exceptionally strong, possibly ranking among the top 5 on record.
That's going to be very important in a winter that may have some surprises in store, with a very strong El Nino event, and yet combined with a novel combination of ocean conditions that we have never seen before.
However, experts caution that there are no guarantees, but El Nino typically brings above average precipitation to Northern California, with the potential for floods and landslides. Typically, El Nino peaks around December, and in the U.S., the greatest impacts occur during the winter season and early spring. However, this does not mean the entire winter season will feature weeks of the same weather. Officially declared in May, El Nino increases the likelihood of above-average precipitation to the state. The National Weather Service's Climate Prediction Center reports an 80% chance of El Nino developing from March to May of next year. Stephanie Sikal, NTD News, California.
That's all we've got for you tonight. We would like you to join us again on NTD Tonight every weekday at 9 p.m. I'm David Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.